Chapter 81 Everyone is equal and treated equally. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Several figures turned into streams of light and descended. Master, this is the Medicine King Valley. It is said that a large number of heavenly materials and earthly treasures are planted in the valley. Treasures such as those that are extremely difficult to find in the outside world can be found everywhere in it. Li Wujie said excitedly, if he could refine a few precious medicines, it would be very helpful for him to break through in cultivation. Interesting. Hong Qianye's eyes flickered, and he was very interested in this Medicine King Valley. According to the description, even if this kind of place were placed in the central territory, it would still cause fierce competition among the major immortal orthodoxy. After all, no cultivation force would think that they have too many cultivation resources. Yi Junlin shrugged. The reason why he wanted to go in was simply to go through the motions and complete the system's sign-in task. No matter how rare the medicinal materials are, they have no value to him, because he does not need to use them to enhance his strength and break through his cultivation. At this moment, a change occurred at the entrance of Yaozun Valley. A vortex visible to the naked eye quickly condensed and then began to expand crazily. Quick, go in. Come on. Many monks rushed into the whirlpool as if they had been given a shot of blood. Miss, let's go. Fan Dezheng held Miaoyi by the hand, bursting out with the majestic momentum of the Mahayana realm, overturning many monks blocking the way, and then rushed in fearlessly. Among them, Master Ran Deng exhaled a deep breath. This was an unforgettable nightmare place for him, but now he has to face it again. If he doesn't fail this time, he will definitely achieve enlightenment and become an immortal in the future. You few, stay and take care of me, the rest of you, go in with me. Yes. Master Ran Deng made a foolproof plan, and then led the troops into Yaozun Valley. The other side, Yi Junlin's face was calm, and he led a few disciples into the whirlpool. In an instant, I felt like the world was spinning, and there were countless strange runes flickering around me. Soon, he appeared in a clearing filled with birdsong and flowers. Here it is like spring all year round, the sun is shining brightly, the lush vegetation is lush and leafy, and the surrounding aura is so rich that it is unimaginable. Yi Junlin and the others stood on the top of the cliff, looking far into the distance. The winding mountains looked like a sleeping giant, and the entire valley was shrouded in clouds and mist, like a fairyland in the sky. It turns out that this is the interior scene of Yaozun Valley. It's so spectacular. Li Wujie said with emotion. Hong Qianye was stunned at first, frowning, then her face suddenly changed, and she lost her voice. What's going on? My realm. He was shocked to find that his originally perfect Mahayana cultivation had somehow regressed to the initial level of Qi training. Moreover, he happened to be stuck at the 9th level of Qi training. Mine too. Li Wujie reacted and was shocked. For those who are strong in the Mahayana realm, anyone whose cultivation level falls to the Qi training realm will find it difficult to accept. It's like a wealthy businessman who was so rich that he suddenly became poor and became as poor as a beggar on the street. Yi Junlin looked in disbelief. His cultivation in the middle stage of transcending the tribulation had also dropped to the 9th level of Qi training. This is something he has worked hard to cultivate. Ahem, okay, admitted. It was a bit over the top. Soon, Yi Junlin's expression returned to normal, and he didn't feel distressed at all. For him, realms are just decorations. As long as he faces a strong person who has transcended the tribulation realm again, his cultivation level can be restored immediately. Moreover, the reason for the regression in cultivation must be related to Yaozun Valley. Yi Junlin rubbed his chin and said, it seems that it's the medicine master who is behind this. He wants to forcefully suppress our cultivation and then compete in this valley. At the 9th level of Qi training, the destructive power is indeed relatively small. Even if everyone lets go and fights, it will not have an impact on the valley. However, it is inevitable that you will feel a little uncomfortable when you suddenly change from a boss to a rookie. Yaozun, he understands the righteousness well and must be doing this for the sake of fairness and justice. Since everyone is at the 9th level of Qi training, there is no suppression in terms of cultivation or magic weapon. Li Wujie shook his head and sighed, hey, but in this case, the knife I carry can't be used, because the difference in realm is too big to activate it. His ink knife is a 9th grade spiritual weapon, it's impossible to use the Qi training realm alone. Fortunately, I have it. In Li Wujia's hand, there was a modeled kitchen knife that looked very old, but judging from the weak spiritual energy fluctuations, it can be seen that this is a magic weapon. Huh? Yi Junlin asked curiously, to this day, you still have this most common magic weapon? Magical weapons are the lowest level among all magical weapons. Above them are treasured weapons, spiritual weapons, mysterious weapons, and fairy weapons. Li Wujia said embarrassedly, Master, to tell you the truth, this is the first magic weapon I obtained when I entered the path of spiritual practice. This kitchen knife has been with me since I was the weakest, even until I still have it now. Li Wujia stretched out his hand and gently stroked the mottled blade, his eyes showing nostalgia as he murmured, Old man, I didn't expect that we could fight side by side again. As a swordsman, what can you do without a sword? Only when you have a handy weapon can you show your strength. Otherwise, without a knife, what's the difference between cutting off your arms? Yi Junlin nodded, so that's it. Ding, it has been detected that the host has arrived at Yaozun Valley. Do you want to sign in? The system prompt sounds. Sign in. Yi Junlin thought to himself, Ding, congratulations to the host for getting a big jar of the best enlightenment tea. If you have nothing to do, you can make some tea. Excellent enlightenment tea, practitioners will gain enlightenment after drinking it, and their cultivation and skills will improve by leaps and bounds. Yi Junlin shook his head. He was so useless to people like him, forget it, just use it to quench your thirst. At this time, Hong Qinya narrowed her eyes and stared closely at the silver-haired young man, while the hands hidden in her sleeves quietly moved their palms. In the past, he would still be wary of the opponent's cultivation level, but now, everyone is at the 9th level of Qi training, so it is very fair. If you spot the opportunity and attack with all your strength, you can't be defeated, right? Hong Qinya has already thought about how to torture this person in various ways, such as tying him to a tree and whipping him severely, burning his buttocks with fire, but Li Wujia's next words directly gave up Hong Qinya's thoughts. By the way, I heard that when monks fight in Yaozun Valley, if their lives are in danger, they will be automatically teleported out. So, we don't need to worry, just do our best. Li Wujia held a kitchen knife in his hand, he said confidently. Hong Qianya's mouth twitched slightly, if this is the case, you will definitely be settled by the queen after you go out. Having learned the painful lesson before, he would not dare to rashly break up if he was not completely sure. Yi Junlin caught a glimpse of this great disciple's strange behavior from the corner of his eye, and sneered inwardly, knowing what this man was thinking. It doesn't matter, just keep training. Suddenly, there was a rustling sound in the grass. Bai Xiaoxi noticed the movement, stretched out her finger, and said with surprise on her face, Hey, look there. Chapter 82 The True Face of Yaozun. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the grass, moving medicinal herbs emerge. Some have leaves, are reflected in the stars, and are crawling with intertwined rhizomes. Some are shaped like sunflowers, emitting brilliant light and threatening, and some are like foxtail grass, swaying. Hold your head, they contain the essence of medicinal power, which is enough to prove that they are all the same precious medicine. To know, elixirs are spiritual and are relatively common medicinal materials, the treasure medicine has opened up the spiritual intelligence, and has been able to learn to think like humans, and can even move freely. God help me, so many precious medicines are delivered to my door in person. Li Wujia laughed, Hong Qinya frowned, These low-grade medicines are at the 9th level of Qi training just like us. The Qi training realm is divided into levels 1 to 12, they are not surprised that the treasure medicine has cultivation ability. Generally speaking, the treasure medicine opens up spiritual wisdom, and they will naturally try to practice, but even so, the basic combat power will be inherently weaker than that of human monks, because the medicinal materials themselves are not suitable for fighting. The advantage they have is their long lifespan. As long as they hide in a hidden corner, they can slowly kill those who covet them. Monk, this is also an important reason why it is difficult to obtain precious medicine. At this time, a clover sent out mental fluctuations, forming a general meaning in the minds of Yi Junlin and others. Friends, Grandpa Yaozun gave us toys again. We can arrest this group of humans like we did several times before. Severe torture. Another sunflower showed an evil smile, and its jeering laughter was particularly magical. I'm going to take off their clothes and let them run around the valley. Huh, what's so fun about this? I think it would be interesting to let them run upside down, so that these humans can feel what it's like to be humiliated in the Medicine King Valley. Another medicinal plant that looked like a dog's tail grass was very excited, and his whole body was shaking with excitement. These bold remarks made Yi Junlin's eyes jump. Li Wujie looked strange and said, "Damn. When did you dare to use precious medicine like this, that if they were left outside, everyone would hide in hiding, fearing that they would be caught by human monks and swallowed for refining? How dare you be so arrogant like now?" Hong Qinya sneered, "Humph, you really don't know how to live or die." That he waved his hand casually, and a ball of purple flame flew away, dragging out a bright arc. Swish! The dog's tail grass shook its head and fired out a sharp wind blade. Boom! The wind blade and flame ball exploded, causing considerable energy fluctuations. What? Hong Qinya was a little surprised, because he was afraid of burning these treasures to ashes. He only used % of his strength in this attack just now, but even so, the power was quite impressive, enough to take down most Qi training monks. As a result, it was actually blocked by a dogtail grass. This. Li Wujie almost thought it was an illusion. Even he had to brace himself to force the move, but was it easily resolved like this? This precious medicine from Yaowang Valley seems to be not simple. Wow, you stinky woman, you actually dare to attack me. If I don't take off your clothes, hang you on a tree and beat you hard. The dog's tail grass sent out strong mental fluctuations, and it was obvious that she was very angry. Red Chinya's veins popped out on his forehead, and he said in a cold voice, "You are looking for death. How dare you brag about a mere precious medicine to him? It's really a big joke in the world." This time, Hong Qinya mobilized the magic power in her body and shot out surging red flames with her palms, which was extremely scary. "Stinky woman, you're still here. Labor and management won't tolerate you." The dog's tail grass shook its head crazily, shooting out countless piercing wind blades, tearing crisscrossing ravines on the ground. Rumble. The scene was astonishing. It's hard to imagine that this is a battle between the 9th level of Qi training. Hong Qinya felt it was ridiculous that she was actually in a stalemate with a treasure medicine. Immediately increased the offensive crazily. The dog's tail grass couldn't hold it anymore, and kept falling back, screaming as it was burned by the fire. "Why are you still standing there? Come and help me quickly. I'm going to be burned to death by this stinky woman." That the other dozen or so treasure medicines laughed, as if they were watching a show, but after all, they were in the same camp, and they couldn't ignore death, so they all attacked Hong Qinya. Several powerful beams of elemental energy shot out, and the originally raging flames immediately showed signs of being blocked. How come? Hong Qinya looked ugly. Now that his realm is low, he cannot use many moves, and his own advantages have been greatly weakened. Okay. Yi Junlin frowned. Although his disciple is a sinister person and has a traitorous bone in the back of his head, he is assisted by heaven-defying skills and blessed by immortal fire spiritual roots. Even if his cultivation level has regressed to the 9th level of Qi training, he can still be beaten outside. Foundation building monks are extremely cruel. Now, he is fighting back and forth with more than a dozen low-grade treasure medicines. This seems abnormal no matter how you look at it. "Senior brother Hong, let me help you." Li Wujie carried a kitchen knife and used the basic sword technique of Chaos Heavenly Sword Ju. Although the power was a weak version, it was also outstanding in the Qi training realm. In an instant, the battle situation changed again, with Li Wujie joining in. Hong Qinya completely let go of her hands and feet, firing out the initial level of fire attribute magic spells one after another, and moving towards those precious medicines to suppress them. "Brother Hong, come on. Brother Li, come on." Bai Xiaoxi waved her pink fist and shouted excitedly. Yi Junlin clicked his tongue and marveled, "Interesting, so interesting." Is this the Medicine King Valley? Medicine is indeed the king. He knew very well that with the qualifications of Hongqianye and Li Wujie, even if their cultivation levels regress to the 9th level of Qi training, it would be easy for the two of them to work together to sweep through the foundation building, but now they can't get these precious medicines immediately. Is this because they are not strong enough? Wrong. It's the treasure itself that's weird. You can't imagine that every one of these precious medicines placed outside is a top talent, capable of crushing most human monks. The power contained in the basic moves that are released casually is surprisingly terrifying. This is so unreal. After all, medicinal herbs are naturally not good at fighting. This is a recognized fact in the world of cultivation, so they can only hide in Tibet to avoid confrontation with human monks. But now, each one of them is showing extraordinary fighting qualifications. This is really outrageous. Could it be? Junlin's mind widened and he suddenly thought of something. He looked up at the sky above Yaozun Valley and saw a faint golden ripple passing by. If I'm not wrong, the fact that these precious medicines can exert such power is all thanks to the blessing of the formations here, and the master who arranged the formations was the medicine master back then. Now the truth becomes clear, everything is caused by that bad old man Yaozun. Suppressing our cultivation, but exaggeratingly enhancing the strength of the medicinal herbs themselves. What is the purpose of this move? Junlin rubbed his chin. You want to say that suppressing the cultivation of all participants is just for the sake of fair competition. This is understandable, but it is a bit too much to deliberately increase the strength of medicinal herbs and let these medicinal herbs ride on the heads of human monks to dominate. This is obviously a calf-protecting operation. Junlin began to have a reason. The purpose of Yaozun opening Yaozun Valley was to attract a group of big enemies every 10 years, and then let the herbs here torture them crazily. The most outrageous thing is that no one has told the truth before. It was as if they were tacitly understanding each other and deliberately trying to trick the latecomers. Good guy, I dare to tear up other people's umbrellas because I have been caught in the rain. Chapter 83 Pain, It Hurts Too Much. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At the same time, this battle is about to come to an end. More than a dozen treasure medicine plants were killed until nothing was left. Each plant was beaten to the point of losing consciousness and fell to the ground in a mess. Don't burn it, this fairy sister, please spare me. The dog's tail grass was burned by the fierce fire, and its whole body was quickly scorched black, emitting bursts of refreshing medicinal fragrance. It was sending out mental fluctuations begging for mercy, which was completely different from before. Arrogant attitude. Death to this seat. Unexpectedly, upon hearing this title, the murderous intent on Hongqianye's face became even more intense, and a brilliant burst of angry flames burst out from his palm, completely burning the dog's tail grass into ashes and scattering in the wind. Old woman. You will be punished. The sunflower shouted when seeing its companion in such miserable condition. Really? Hongqianye laughed angrily, and with terrifying fireworks lingering in her palms, she dodged away and raised her hand to slap Sunflower hard. Sunflower gathered momentum and shot out a blazing golden light, which was enough to tear the earth and pierce the rocks, but in the end it was no match for Hongqianye. What? Sunflower screamed, and its entire body was turned into powder, which filled the mountain forest. Swish. Li Wujie's movement was very agile, and the kitchen knife in his hand turned over at a dizzying speed. Every plant of the precious medicine was chopped into pieces, and the cuts were smooth and flat. Soon, everything was solved. Take good care of it. You can make soup later. Junlin said. Yes, master. Li Wujie said. Hey, this one is still moving. Bai Xiaoxi squatted on the ground, looking at a dead vine that had been cut off but was still twisting like a snake, and curiously poked it with a branch. The withered vine seemed to know that there was no hope of survival, so it tried its best to stir up the last vitality. The ends bloomed like flowers, and then released a bright silver ball of light into the sky. Swish. The roar of the breaking wind sounded, and then the silver ball of light exploded in the air, and a bright silver axe pattern appeared in the sky. After finishing it, the withered vine finally fell down weakly, and there was no more movement. Li Wujie frowned, this is. Looking at the silver axe pattern, Yi Junlin looked strange and couldn't help but said, is this a distress signal from the axe gang? That he finally figured out that because the precious medicine gave birth to spiritual intelligence, he would form cliques like humans after staying in Yaozun Valley for so many years. The dead vine just now was obviously calling people to come over. In other words, they are about to face a siege from a bunch of precious medicines. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? Hong Qinya sneered, no matter how many helpers come, I will burn them all into dregs. Li Wujie coughed a few times and said, Senior brother Hong, please take it easy. These are precious medicines. I suggest you just cook them. Humph. Hong Qinya turned her face away and said, it depends on your mood. Yi Junlin smiled and said, you must have discovered something while you were fighting. As soon as these words came out, both of them nodded. Master, this is not the power that medicinal herbs can exert at all. If we follow this trend, the ones that will appear later will probably become stronger and stronger. Most of the monks who enter the Medicine King Valley will probably. Li Wujie deliberately stopped his words. Did not continue, but the meaning was already obvious. How many of those monks can handle the precious medicine that requires a lot of effort to suppress even them? It is estimated that many people will definitely suffer at this time. Unfortunately, they will become the playthings of this group of treasures, and their dignity will be trampled on and humiliated. Hong Qinya said, I seriously doubt that the medicine lord must have done this on purpose. How can this be done by the sages of the human race? It is clear that he wants to favor the herbs of this Medicine King Valley, and he also arranges every 10 years. He opened it once and let the outside world think how generous he is, but in the end he came to deceive his own people. As a former true immortal, Hong Qinya despised Yaozun's actions. Li Wujie frowned and said, no way. It is said that Medicine Lord is good at charity, has superb medical skills, and can bring people back to life. He was famous in ancient times and was a highly praised power in the eastern region. I don't think he would set up the trap was probably out of love for the herbs, so I gave preferential treatment to the herbs here. Do you know what you are talking about? If you really care about medicinal herbs, why open the Medicine King Valley? Why don't you just close it permanently and make this whole thing? Hypocrisy. Hong Qinya responded directly, with a very sharp tone. Li Wujie was speechless, because he also knew that his statement was completely untenable. Yi Junlin waved his hand and said nonchalantly, okay, let's take it step by step. He didn't feel any sense of crisis at all. Instead, he felt that this place was full of novelties. Now that he was here, let's see how powerful the herbs in this Medicine King Valley were. The other side, on the throne made of intertwined vines, a palm-sized creature with a body like a ginseng sat with its roots stretched out. Its whole body was like gold, exuding surging vitality. This is golden ginseng. An existence that transcends precious medicine is the true king of medicine. Any medicinal materials that reach this level will make people even in the tribulation realm be excited, because this kind of thing is of great benefit to them. At this time, this golden ginseng plant stood tall, like a boss, with a majestic tone. Did a member just send out a distress signal? Reporting to King Shen, it is indeed true, said one of his subordinates. Who dares to provoke my axe gang? Is it the other waves of forces entrenched in Yaozun Valley? Golden Ginseng said coldly. It shouldn't be. After so many years of peace and harmony, who would take action against our axe gang? A kapok-shaped treasure emitted doubtful mental fluctuations. Is it that group of humans? After all, counting the time, today happens to be the time when the Medicine King Valley opens. Impossible, the human race is so weak, how can it threaten our noble medicine race? That's right, every time humans come in, they will be brutally tortured by us, but they still want to eat us. How stupid. Immediately, other treasures and medicines began to question this possibility. They generally believed that the human race was very weak and could not pose a threat to them. Please give me peace. A strong mental wave swept across, and the treasures on both sides were as silent as cicadas. The golden ginseng moved, and its roots stood like legs. Anyway, the Medicine King Valley has been opened. Why not take advantage of the moment to capture some humans for fun, and take a look at who is so bold and dares to attack the axe gang? As it spoke, it took out a silver axe from nowhere, which was obviously a magic weapon used by monks, and then raised it high, full of momentum, just like a gang boss. Let's go. At this moment, it only takes less than half a day for many monks who enter the Medicine King Valley to go from being excited at the beginning, full of excitement and longing, to now doubting their lives and full of despair. They didn't expect that their cultivation would be suppressed to the 9th level of Qi training, and what they didn't expect was that the herbs here were all incredibly powerful. Clap clap clap, among them, there was a willow tree that had grown into a spirit. It whipped up its willow branches and whipped the monks who were lying on the ground. Their bodies were covered with scars and they screamed in agony. There was also a top-grade treasure medicine that looked like a big Japanese melon, exuding the aura of the 12th level of Qi training. It landed on the middle-aged man's back and smashed him to the ground. He forced the middle-aged man to carry it on his back and then crawled like a dog. The young man felt extremely humiliated. You must know that he was once a god transformation monk. There were also several good-looking female monks who were stripped of their clothes and danced on the brazier while crying, surrounded by some treasures that were jumping around because of excitement. There were grotesque and ridiculous sights everywhere, as if everything had been reversed. The human race, which is the most powerful and powerful force in the outside world, has become a weak group that can be bullied at will in Yaozun Valley. Stop fighting. I'll save you and stop fighting. Run. Yaozun Valley is a scam. A huge scam. Woo, why has no senior ever mentioned the truth hidden inside the Medicine King Valley? Why are these medicines so powerful? I used to be one of the top 10 geniuses in the sect, but now I can't even beat a single herb. Is this normal? Sounds of begging for mercy, cries, and wailings echoed throughout the vast Yaozun Valley. This inhuman encounter is destined to bring an indelible psychological shadow to them. Chapter 84 Master Ran Deng's Reliance. You are listening at novelfull.audio. While most of the monks were being brutally tortured, a group of monks were able to navigate the Medicine King Valley with ease. Bald donkey, let's capture him without mercy. Halfway up the mountain, several medicinal herbs of different shapes jumped out and launched fierce attacks one after another. Boom. The low chime of the bell echoed. A large golden bell emerged, with Sanskrit words lingering like tadpoles throughout its body, conveying the meaning of indestructibility. The leader, Ran Deng Master, used the golden bell cover to protect his body and easily blocked the attacks of those precious medicines. Then he raised his glass-like palms and flashed away, hitting the precious medicines one by one. Bang bang bang. Several treasure medicine plants suddenly fell to the ground and became motionless as if they were struck by lightning. Master Ran Deng is so powerful. With him taking us, we will definitely be able to return with a full load this time. A fellow student ran over with a joyful smile on his face and picked up the few medicinal plants. Put in storage bag, I was very excited to meditate in Xiankong Temple. Looking at Master Ran Deng, I was filled with deep admiration and regarded him as a god. At the beginning, after everyone entered Yaozun Valley, they were all very frightened and uneasy, because they found that their own realm had regressed to the 9th level of Qi training, and the treasures that appeared were so powerful that they could easily be hung up and beaten. But soon, this respected old man from Xiankong Temple dispelled their inner worries with his powerful strength. No, along the way, we have suppressed at least dozens of precious medicine plants, and then collected them all. Not to mention how happy the people of Xiankong Temple are about this. After all, it is extremely difficult to find a precious medicine outside on weekdays. However, they had gained such a big harvest not long after they came in, which made them look forward to the next adventure even more. If this trend continues, won't all the precious medicines in Yaozun Valley be evacuated? Even the Medicine King can have a chance to win it. Yes, we all have to rely on Master Ran Deng. After we go back, Xiankong Temple will also reward us. This trip is really worth it. The group of monks were happy and full of joy. Amitabha Master Ran Deng clasped his hands together and chanted the Buddha's name habitually. with an imperceptible light flashing in his eyes, his heart was filled with pride. Sure enough, the preparations I made earlier were worth it. The last time I was suppressed, my shortcomings were exposed, and I was ravaged by these little guys. But this time I can finally be proud and get what I want. Subsequently, Master Ran Deng and his party continued to move forward. I saw some monks being bullied by precious medicine and forced to do all kinds of eye-catching behaviors. Some of them are relatives of a certain dynasty, some are supreme elders of a certain sect, and some are heads of a certain cultivating family. Their identities can be described as diverse, and they are all well-known and powerful beings in the local area, but now, they are being oppressed by the treasures and treated like slaves one by one. Even if they want to resist, there is nothing they can do. Seeing their disgraced faces, gloomy eyes, doubtful life, almost collapsed, the Zen practitioners in Xiankong Temple couldn't help but feel afraid, and secretly felt lucky to have the protection of Master Ran Deng. Saw this ridiculous sight. Master Ran Deng looks calm on the surface, but in fact he feels the same way, because as early as 10 years ago in Yaozun Valley, he also became a pitiful bully. But fortunately, all this has been lost in the dust of history. Now he has changed his appearance and set foot here again, just to suppress Yaozun Valley. Hey, there are a group of old bald donkeys here, friends, come here and capture them. Yuzhu Baoyao said excitedly. Presumptuous, Master Ran Deng shouted angrily, raised his hand and stretched out his hand. A golden palm formed in the air, just like the Buddha took action and slapped this precious medicine to the ground. The juice splashed everywhere and the fragrance of the medicine was fragrant. Wow, yeah, you dare to attack our noble medicine clan, you stupid old bald donkey has turned against you. From all around, one after another, medicinal herbs came one after another, and they released their own moves in a menacing manner. The energy fluctuates turbulently, rolling up vast dust and smoke. Well done. This will save me the trouble of looking for you. Master Ran Deng sneered and greeted him fearlessly. The next second, he was wrestling with a group of treasures. During this period, Master Ran Deng wore a golden bell shield to resist all kinds of weird moves. This was not over yet. The fists he waved were packed with strong force, knocking down the active treasures one after another. This old bald donkey's turtle shell is really hard. Don't be discouraged, everyone, focus your attacks. In this Medicine King Valley, we are the boss. That's right, get on. Soon, the golden bell cover was covered with broken marks, and then it was smashed into pieces. See, the rest of the treasures were very excited, and they stepped up their offensive more and more desperately. In their opinion, this old bald donkey will soon suffer. The strange thing is that Master Ran Deng did not panic at all, but instead showed a meaningful smile on his lips. Boom boom. Within the explosion of light, a thin figure stood firm. How is it possible? The little things around were surprised. This was beyond their knowledge. I saw that the surface of Master Ran Deng's body was filled with a layer of golden halo, and the texture of his skin shone with precious light, as if it were completely natural and could not be harmed by any external force. Within the smoke, an old voice slowly came out. In order to deal with you, during these long years, I painstakingly practiced the art of body refining and repaired the weaknesses. During this period, I traveled to famous mountains and rivers, used all means, and spent a lot of resources to build the body. Today, Lao Na's indestructible body has reached the most perfect stage. It is just one step away from the legendary transformation state. What if the cultivation level is suppressed to the Qi training state? With his powerful body, Lao Na you still can't do anything to me. Master Ran Deng clasped his hands together and stepped out, his cloudy eyes shining brightly. Then, relying on his indestructible body, he resisted the attacks of the treasures and counterattacked them one by one. Gradually, most of the treasures were suppressed, leaving a small number of treasures that fled in panic and disappeared without a trace. The monks who were rescued nearby all cheered and many cried with joy, knelt down and kowtowed in thanks. Thank you, Master, for coming to the rescue. We will remember your kindness for the rest of our lives. We can't repay you for your great kindness. Master pulled us out of the heat of water. It is a great merit. The living Buddha is still alive. Shouts came and went, all with a sense of gratitude. Master Ran Deng, who was in the limelight, pretended to be compassionate and sighed, "That's good, that's good. This is what I should do." Hearing this, the monks around him admired him even more, and unanimously regarded him as an accomplished monk. In the team at Qiankong Temple, every meditation practitioner had a red face and looked at each other with pride in their eyes. Master Ran Deng coughed a few times, and several of his colleagues immediately understood and quickly put the precious medicines scattered on the ground into storage bags. "These are all trophies." Looking at the group of grateful monks, Master Ran Deng appeared amiable on the surface, but secretly disdainful in his heart. The reason why he took action was naturally for the precious medicine. Those just now were just words for the occasion. "Master, can we follow you? We don't want anything, we just want to be by your side." A monk said tentatively because he was afraid that after leaving, he would be captured by Bao Yao as a slave. Master Ran Deng smiled and said, "Amipa, monks are compassionate. I know what you are worried about, but there is no need to be afraid. As long as you stay with me, I will protect you." As soon as these words came out, the monks around him almost cried with joy, and they once again made all kinds of rainbow nonsense, almost praising Master Ran Deng higher than Buddha. Master Ran Deng pretended to be calm, but in reality he was already feeling restless. He knows that after this incident is over, he will gain both fame and fortune, and his status in the Qiankong Temple will also rise. "Amipa, I would like to see if there is anything else in the Medicine King Valley that can threaten me." At this time, with the previous victories, Master Ran Deng was so confident that he led everyone to the depths of Yaozun Valley. Chapter 85 Shameful Binding. You are listening at novelfull.audio. On the other side, there were two figures running away in embarrassment. The majestic image of the middle-aged man was gone, replaced by a gray-haired face, with many torn gaps in his robes, and he did not look like a great elder of the Taoist sect at all. The woman in yellow has skin as good as snow and a pretty face that is pink and tender. She used to have a character that was not afraid of the sky or the earth, but now she is like a frightened little white rabbit, with a bit of panic in the corners of her eyes and eyebrows. Yes, these are Fan Dezheng and Miaoyi. Fan Dezheng really didn't expect that there was a secret hidden in the Medicine King Valley. No matter what his previous cultivation level was, he was suppressed to the 9th level of Qi training without making any sense. It's a pity that he is a strong and accomplished Mahayana man, but his strength has dropped to the level of Qi training in the past, and he feels like a tiger has turned into a cat. Even so, Fan Dezheng, as a person who has seen strong winds and waves, can still accept this sudden change. Because he is confident that even if his cultivation is in the Qi training realm, as the supreme genius of the Taoist sect, he can still conquer all directions. After all, which one of today's geniuses can't cross the border and challenge? Just when Fan Dezheng was calming down, several medicinal plants emerged from the jungle, making him doubt his life. Only then did Fan Dezheng realize that all the herbs that open up spiritual intelligence here are extremely powerful, which is completely different from those outside. Just when the great elder of the Taoist sect, a powerful man with perfect Mahayana realm, was about to be dragged to the woods and ravaged severely, and Miaoyi, who had always been protected, stepped forward and used all his strength to bring her down. Uncle Fan was rescued. The funny thing is that Fan's advantage in Yaozun Valley is far less than in Miaoyi's. Outside, due to the huge gap in realms, the strength gap between the two sides is not generally large, but in a special place like Yaozun Valley, the special physique of the daughter of the leader of the Taoist sect was successfully put to use, and Miaoyi, who has a star immortal body, can explode with power far beyond that of monks in the same realm even if her cultivation is suppressed to the Qi training realm. In this way, Miaoyi took up the important task of protecting Uncle Fan and escaping away from the clutches of those precious medicines. The two of them were hiding in the woods at the slightest sign of trouble, and their spirits were extremely tense, fearing that they would be attacked. Although all participants do not have to worry about dying in Yaozun Valley, because Yaozun Valley has regulations that once life is in danger, it will be automatically transported to the outside world. But here comes the problem. Life is only dangerous when your life is in danger. In that case, let's torture and humiliate you. We will humiliate you personally, destroy you mentally, and trample on your dignity. Which monk can bear this? Everyone is afraid of being caught by those crazy herbal medicines, and then being forced to accept their various heavy-flavored methods. So what if I survive? Do you know what life is worse than death? Moreover, if the Taoist heart is broken, the path of spiritual practice will also be cut off. That's why Miaoi and Fan Dezheng are so worried. At this time, they hope that Yaowang Valley will be closed soon, so that they can teleport out and successfully avoid this disaster. Miss, I'm sorry. It's Uncle Fan who is useless. He asked you to rescue him at a critical moment. Now he wants to drag you down. Uncle Fan is a burden. Fan Dezheng's eyes were red and he blamed himself. It is hard to imagine that the great elder, whom everyone in the Taoist sect respected, would show such a decadent look, and Miaoi saw this and felt very distressed. No, Miaoi has never blamed Uncle Fan. Besides, it was Uncle Fan who took me when I came out of the sect this time. Now if there is some trouble, it will naturally be my turn. Let me protect you, this is what a junior should do. Miss. Fan Dezheng was greatly touched in his heart, and his eyes were slightly moist. If you ask me, it's all because of this poor place. The herbs here are all so strong, it's obviously not normal. And Miaoi punched the air angrily and complained, unfortunately, I thought Grandpa Yaozun was a good person before, but now it seems that he is just a smelly old man with sinister intentions. Fan Dezheng smiled bitterly and wanted to defend himself, but after thinking about it carefully, he really had nothing to say. Because the strength of the medicinal herbs here is far beyond the normal level, if you just pick up one and throw it out, it can sweep away a large number of human monks in the same realm. If you say there is no one behind the scenes, who would believe it? And Yaowang Valley is the territory of Yaozun, so this matter has nothing to do with him. The most hateful thing is that the Medicine King Valley has been opened so many times, but no warrior has come forward to tell the inside story. It's a trap, it's such a trap. Thinking of this, Fan Dezheng felt aggrieved in his heart. Just now he was almost stripped off his clothes, hung from a tree and beaten by a few treasure medicine plants. If the Taoist people knew about this, where would he put his old face? Just as the two were escaping in a hurry, a blue vine rolled like a dragon on the ground, rolled up a huge amount of dust, and then wrapped around Miaoi's ankle like lightning. Hateful, that the sudden attack completely caught Miaoi off guard, he raised his jade hand, and the stars were shining in his palm. Swish! Miaoi fought hard to shoot out the stars, trying to break the vines wrapped around her ankles. As a result, blue lightning rose from the surface of the vines, which not only blocked her attack, but also generated electric current that made her whole body numb. Ah 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 ah. Miaoi was electrocuted all over, her hair stood on end, and then she was dragged back by the vines without any resistance. Miss. Fan Dezheng was shocked and turned pale. He condensed several Gingjin sword energy from his hand and slashed at the vines, but without any damage. Fan Dezheng was so anxious that he wanted to continue attacking, but was hit by another blue vine in the chest. The lightning flashed and he flew backwards, falling into disgrace. Uncle Fan, save me, save me. Miaoi came back to her senses and shouted in horror. Damn it, which herb was responsible? Fan was struggling to get up, gritting his teeth and chasing after him. After a while, the sight in front of him shocked him. It was a towering tree that was as thick as 10 people when hugging each other. It had lush branches and leaves, and was entangled with more than a dozen blue vines, intertwined with each other. The vines glowed azure all over. If you look closely, you can see mysterious lines. Covered, it looks magical. Is this the 9 tribulations thunder vine? Fan Dezheng was stunned, with a chill running down his back, because this is clearly a Chinese medicine king. The cultivation level is divided according to the levels of Yaowang Valley, and it has reached the middle stage of foundation building. This also means that the strength bonus it gives far exceeds the sum of many precious medicines. Fan Dezheng's mentality collapsed. He couldn't even use ordinary precious medicines. How could he have the ability to deal with this king of medicines? Let me go quickly. Miaoi's pretty face was horrified, and she found that there were several vines that were like snakes, binding her tightly. Then, there was a buzzing sound of electricity. Ah ah ah. Miaoi's face was full of pain. No. Fan Dizheng was extremely anxious and used his sword skills to attack. Whoa, the sword energy circled wildly, but was easily blocked. Then Fan Dizheng's eyes shrank because he saw several vines coming at him fiercely. Clap clap clap. Vander was being beaten so hard that he was helpless. Every time a vine fell on him, large clouds of lightning would explode. What? Thought the dignified great elder of the Taoist sect was being tortured by a medicinal herb, like a wild boar rolling in the mud. Ha ha ha, it's fun, it's so fun. Excited mental fluctuations came from the Nine Tribulations Thunder Vine, and landed in their minds. Like a boy's mocking voice, Fan Dizheng's hair was disheveled and he looked miserable. Even though there was endless anger in his heart, it was of no use at the moment. He could only surrender and beg for mercy. This king of medicine, please be noble and let us go, or let this child go. I am willing to suffer on her behalf. Uncle Fan. And Miaoyi gradually regained consciousness and choked up when seeing this situation. Ha, I finally got you here, do you think I will let you go? Why are you human beings so naive? Look at this woman, how much she enjoys being shocked by me. That the Nine Tribulations Thunder Vine continued to exert force. Zilala. Ugh. Ha, happy, see this scene. You. Fan Dizheng was so angry that he spurted blood from his mouth, staring at the Nine Tribulations Thunder Vine with angry eyes. Hey, it looks like you are very dissatisfied. The Nine Tribulations Thunder Vine became very playful and extended several other vines, crackling with lightning. Fan Dizheng was beaten again and was beaten until he knelt on the ground, with black smoke coming out of his body. Don't worry, I understand the rules and will not put your life in danger. These are just superficial pains. I know that this woman must be very important to you. I want you to see with your own eyes how I torture you. Even if you are teleported out afterwards, when you think back many years later, you will still feel the fear of being dominated by me. That the Nine Tribulations Thunder Vine is very arrogant, and seems to be very familiar with it, because in the past long years, many people have been played by it. All. And Miaoyi was electrocuted again and screamed, feeling pain and suffering in her heart. You. Fan Dizheng was so angry that he was shaking all over. He had never suffered such a shame and humiliation in his life. It's fun, it's so fun. Humans are the best toys. Nine Tribulations Lei Teng was extremely excited. At this time, several figures approached. Master, I heard a woman screaming. No need to ask, he must have been tortured by the medicinal herbs. Hey, there's a young lady tied up over there. She looks like she's in pain. Yi Junlin followed the sound and froze on the spot. Oh my gosh, what a terrible picture is this. Chapter 86. Don't underestimate Shushu. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In Yi Junlin's eyes, Miaoyi was tied up by vines, and her delicate body stood out, giving her an inexplicable sense of shame. Coupled with the electric current released from time to time and the bursts of screams, it is difficult for people not to bend. Fan Dizheng noticed that someone was coming, and when he turned around to look, his desperate eyes suddenly shone brightly, as if he had seen a savior, and he quickly asked for help. Fellow Taoists, please help. After the incident was completed, I asked Zongding I will repay your kindness. For some reason, he felt that these people were very reliable. And Miaoyi's face was in pain, and she was foaming at the mouth from being shocked. Help me. Hong Qianya's eyes burst into light. This is the Nine Tribulations Thunder Vine. Good guy, this is a middle-grade medicine king. Li Wujie held the kitchen knife, his eyes showed excitement, and his heart was ready to move. Regardless of whether they save people or not, they all want to take down this medicine king, because the benefits are real. Yi Junlin didn't care, but since it had reached this point, he might as well let these two people try the strength of the Nine Tribulations Thunder Vine. Immediately, Yi Junlin looked serious and shouted in a deep voice. Missin is destined to be with me, how can I stand by and watch? Go. Wang Cuehua and Li Taidan. This tone is quite akin to a summoner ordering a pet beast. The corners of Hong Qianya's eyes twitched, and she secretly cursed this guy. 18 generations of her ancestors greeted him. do you want some face? How can you order people like this? Li Wujie adapted to his role and rushed over with a kitchen knife. Before leaving, he said, Wang Cuihua, remember to cover for me. Hong Qinye's eyes widened in disbelief. Are you a bitch like you? Taking a deep breath, he raised his voice and shouted, Li Tai Dan, I'm here to help you. Swish. The two figures turned into streams of light and rushed away. 9 Tribulations. Lei Ting noticed that a monk came to the rescue, and instead of being angry, he said happily, Ha ha ha, this is a new toy for me. When you are cooked by the fire, let me see if you can still laugh. Hong Qinye's eyes were murderous, and he fired out a brilliant flame ray with his right hand, tearing the air along the way, and its power could penetrate gold stone. Oh, there was a blue vine coming with the sound of breaking wind, and it was wrapped in azure thunder, which was extremely terrifying. Boom. The vines emitted black smoke and were charred. Ah! Damn the human race! How dare you hurt me! The 9 Tribulations vines felt a sting, and were immediately angered. They used several other idle vines to attack. Each vine blooms with superb lightning, as if it is guided by thunder, and its power is very extraordinary. Humph! Li Wujie used his sword skills, and the sword light crisscrossed, fighting with several vines. Hong Qinye found the right moment and continued to cast spells. In the void, several ice-blue flame spheres flew instantly and landed on the vines to form thick frost, which also had the effect of slowing down frostbite. At this time, 9 Tribulations Thundertang was forced to panic. He loosened the vines that tied in Miaoi's body, and then launched an attack all at once. Obviously, this medicine king is going all out. Take advantage of the chaos. Fan Dezheng quickly pulled an Miaoi up and retreated far away, looking at the two figures fighting with the 9 Tribulations Thunder Vine. Their hearts seemed to be filled with turbulent waves. Strong, too strong. They are obviously in the same realm, but the gap is still so big. Among them, An Miaoi was the most shocked. You know, she is the most powerful genius in Taoism. She has been praised endlessly since she was a child. Everyone envies her and admires her. Many of her classmates follow her as an example. Even when she saw Hong Qinye and Li Wujie at the Longmen Inn, she instinctively felt that the gap was caused by their realm. If she cultivated to this realm, she might be stronger than them. Unexpectedly, the scene that happened before her eyes directly shattered her inner pride. She was also at the 9th level of Qi training, and she was equipped with a star immortal body, but she could only barely deal with ordinary treasures, but he can already fight against the medicine king. If you don't understand the difference clearly, you are really a fool. Uncle Fan, you and Dad are lying to me. I'm not as talented as you say. An Miaoi was frustrated inside and said in a low tone. This. Fan Dezheng was speechless. In fact, when he first asked Yi Junlin and others for help, it was just out of an attitude of treating a dead horse as a living horse, but he really didn't expect that the other party would send out 2 people to force the 9 Tribulations Thunder Vine into this. This strength, this potential, is ridiculously strong. Where did they come from? It's impossible that I haven't heard of such a powerful force. Fan Dezheng said in a deep voice, and Miaoi said disappointedly, Master Yi told me that they are from Huangzhou. Deserted state. Fan Dezheng was stunned. He first looked at the 2 people fighting, and then looked at Yi Junlin and Bai Xiaoxi on the other side, combining the familiarity at the beginning with what he saw and heard now. The Taoist sect elder muttered as if struck by lightning, no way. At this time, 9 Tribulations Lei Ting was very angry. It has spent so many years in Yaowang Valley, and this is the first time it has seen such a difficult human monk. I swear, I will tie you up later and shock you so hard. You will be shocked until you can't breathe. More than a dozen thunder vines snaked around like spiritual snakes, releasing a terrifying electric light, turning into a cage to trap Hong Qinye and Li Wujie. The 2 of them were fighting like trapped animals, which seemed very difficult. Oops. Not even them. An Miaoi's heart rose to her throat. Fanda frowned and fell into silence. The other side, Bai Xiaoxi said anxiously, Senior brother Hong and junior brother Li are in danger. Shushu is going to save them. With that said, it swept away. Xiaoxi. Yi Junlin, who was observing the situation, was a little surprised when he saw the white-haired rat suddenly take action. Are you finally reaching your fighting potential? The two men, surrounded by more than a dozen thunder vines, seemed to be in trouble. Damn it, I still underestimated the advantage of Medicine King here. It's difficult for us to cause fatal damage to it. Li Wujie gritted his teeth. He tried to mobilize the crazy demon bloodline, but there was no response at all. Could it be because his cultivation was suppressed? Hong Qianye's face was livid. This was even more aggrieved than being bullied by that guy. After all, that guy was the son of luck. If he couldn't beat him, he couldn't beat him. Now he even dared to ride on his head with a medicinal herb. Things that are used as medicinal materials outside are actually so powerful in this poor place. That stinky old man named Yaozun, don't let me meet you in the future. Suddenly, Hong Qianye noticed something and said in surprise, why is this stupid mouse here? Li Wujie said anxiously, it's dangerous here, senior sister Bai, leave quickly. Huh? How dare a little thing like you come to join in the fun, or do you think I will be gentler to you? 9 Tribulations Lei Ting sneered, mobilized a vine to surround the thunder light, and whipped it away, swish. Bai Xiaoxi's whole body released a brilliant golden light, which seemed to be sacred and could not be profaned. It stretched out its young and white hands, grabbed the terrifying vine, and then pulled hard. Don't underestimate Shushu. Pat. The vines were violently torn apart and green juice spurted out. The 9 Tribulations thunder vine sent out violent mental fluctuations, which fell into everyone's minds, like screams of pain. Ah! You deserve it. Who told you to be so bad? Bai Xiaoxi is covered in golden light, which is extremely dazzling. Its punches and kicks seem to have no rules, but in fact it turns the complex into simplicity, and contains some kind of Taoist charm. In an instant, the originally solid thunder and lightning cage was forcefully broken open by this rat-headed lolita. The vines were beaten until their juices burst out, and they screamed. The 9 Tribulations thunder vine screamed again and again. It was so miserable. Hong Qianye looked stunned. Is it fake? Is this still the silly mouse that follows others all day long and only cooks delicious food? Li Wujie swallowed his saliva. Bai, senior sister Bai, is she so strong, that when he first became his disciple, he really thought that Bai Xiaoxi was the master's pet out of interest? Hiss. And Miaoyi and Fan Dizhen gasped, their scalps numb. In the eyes of the two of them, the petite girl wearing a hooded skirt beat the 9 Tribulations thunder vine with her bare hands until she couldn't take care of herself. Junlin clicked his tongue and marveled, is this the power of the #1 immortal body in the world? It is indeed extraordinary. With the blessing of Daluo immortal physique and the assistance of supreme skills, Bai Xiaoxi broke out for the first time with terrifying fighting talent. Chapter 87 As expected of a professional. You are listening at novelfull.audio. With Bai Xiaoxi's breakthrough, Hong Qianye and Li Wujie seemed to have divine help. The raging flames were like waves beating, the sharp sword light flashed, and the 9 Tribulations thunder vine completely lost its life breath and fell limply on the ground. Okay. We won. Bai Xiaoxi said happily. This little loli ran up to Hong Qianye excitedly, stood on tiptoes with her hands intertwined. Her cute mouse face was full of expectation. Obviously she wanted her senior brother to praise her. Humph. Hong Qianye snorted coldly, rolled her sleeves and walked away. Seeing how strong this silly mouse turned out, the arrogant leader of the demon cult felt uncomfortable. Now when he saw Bai Xiaoxi running over, he thought he was here to show off, so naturally he didn't give it a good look. Seeing that her senior brother was ignoring her, Bai Xiaoxi lowered her head in grievance, with tears welling up in her eyes. Did Shushu do something wrong? Cough cough. Li Wujie pretended to cough a few times and said with a sincere expression, Senior sister Bai, you were so majestic just now. He always thought that Bai Xiaoxi was just a mascot, but he didn't expect that it was all superficial. Sure enough, it would be easy for no one to become the disciple of master. Bai Xiaoxi felt very happy when she heard someone praising it for its awesomeness. She suddenly became embarrassed and said coyly, oh, that's not true. Shushu just wants to help. Uncle Fan, let's go and say thank you. And Miaoyi recovered from the shock, pulled the middle-aged man and ran over. "Thank you so much fellow Taoists for helping me. Miaoyi is very grateful. You don't have to be polite, girl, it's just a small effort." Li Wujie cupped his hands and said, as for Hong Qianye, she had a cold face and said nothing, and Miaoyi's eyes fell on Bai Xiaoxi, because she couldn't see her true face through the curtain hat, but Miaoyi guessed that she must be a very cute little girl. "What is the name of this fellow Taoist?" Bai Xiaoxi was stunned, pointed at herself, and said a little flattered, "Sister, are you talking to Shushu? Rat." Hearing this self-proclaimed name, Miaoyi found it very interesting and said with a smile, "Of course, you are very powerful. I admire you very much." Heard, Bai Xiaoxi was so happy that she jumped up on the spot and shouted excitedly, "Master! Master! Did you hear it? This sister admires Shushu very much. Shushu is also worshipped by others. Master?" Fan Dizheng's eyes flashed, looking at the handsome silver-haired young man, and he couldn't help but feel a chill in his heart. He felt more and more that this was very similar to the rumored pair. Could it be that what I encountered before was fake? Fan Dizheng was distraught and looked very ugly. Junlin walked over with a smile on his face, stretched out his hand and patted Bai Xiaoxi's head gently. "Okay, let's see how proud you are." He Bai Xiaoxi scratched his head. "Are you the master of this little girl?" And Miaoyi was surprised. What kind of existence could have such a powerful disciple? "Yes, I worked hard to cultivate it and spent a lot of effort on it." Junlin said matter-of-factly. Hong Qianye rolled her eyes. "How could you have the nerve to say such a thing? Whose master lies down like trash every day, waiting for his disciples to make all kinds of delicious food? Also, what do you cultivate it for? Develop its superb cooking skills?" "Oh, when I didn't say that." "Yes, master is very good to Shushu." Bai Xiaoxi nodded heavily, as if this was indeed the case. "That's it." And Miaoyi glanced at these four figures, always feeling familiar, but after the crazy electric shock just now, her brain became a little short-circuited, and she didn't turn around at all. Seeing this, Junlin secretly sighed, "This woman is full of wisdom from head to toe." Suddenly, there was a loud noise not far away. "King Shen, there are humans here. The fluctuations in the battle just now were caused by them. Hey, I remember this is Thunder King's territory." In the woods, densely packed small things were rushing towards them, looking strange and exuding a strong medicinal fragrance. Every plant thrown outside can fetch a high price. So many precious medicines. Fan Dizheng looked frightened. In the past, if he saw it, he would go crazy with joy, but now, because of everything he experienced in Yaowang Valley, Fan De was subconsciously afraid of the treasure when he saw it. It is estimated that even if he goes out, it will take a long time to heal. Huh. Junlin narrowed his eyes slightly, feeling that there was an extremely powerful aura in this alternative treasure medicine team. Soon, hundreds of different medicinal herbs came to them in front of them. The leader is a top-quality medicine king whose whole body is golden and looks like a ginseng. His cultivation is perfect in foundation building. Compared to the 9 Tribulations Thunder Vine, it was much more powerful. Golden ginseng released strong mental fluctuations, containing a sense of shock and anger. You humans actually killed Xiao Lei. Xiao Lei is the 9 Tribulations Thunder Vine. It's obvious that the two sides have a great relationship. Hong Qianye's eyes flashed, and she lost her composure. This is such a great place. We actually met a medicine king of this quality, that if he could obtain this thing, he might even be able to break through and overcome the tribulation. Li Wujie's eyes were deep. This is even more powerful than the last one. I wonder if we can eat it. Bold and despicable humans dare to covet my king. Golden Ginseng said angrily, holding a silver axe. It decided to use Lingqi's methods to torture these ungrateful humans. It turns out to be the gang from before. Junlin suddenly realized when he saw the other party showing off his axe. Senior Sister Bai, can you still help us? Li Wujie asked tentatively. Hearing this, Bai Xiaoxi felt that she was very important, and immediately patted her chest, her young and clear voice full of determination. Well, Shushu will do his best. Here comes my king. Capture them. Following the boss's order, a large number of precious medicines launched their attack. Here it comes, the medicine is here. Fan Dizheng's scalp was numb and his body was shaking like chaff. It was only Miaoyi who was beside him who comforted him that made the great elder of the Taoist sect feel better. Junlin looked strange. This fellow Taoist's mental state was worrying. Followed by, Hong Qianye and Li Wujie took action to fight against these treasures. The golden ginseng wielded a silver axe, slashing with a squeaking sound, full of gangsterism, clang. A crisp sound, golden ginseng was stunned. What stood in front of its eyes was a petite figure with a curtain on its head. That tender little hand was covered with golden light and looked indestructible. Your opponent is me, Shushu. Bai Xiaoxi said seriously. Just you. That the golden ginseng was furious, and its surging vitality exploded. Its whole body was golden, as if it were shrouded in the sun, and its aura was sacred. Invisibly, there is an invisible force blessing his body, making the power of this top-grade medicine king extremely powerful. This scene made Fan Dizheng and Miaoyi tremble with fear. According to the standards of the outside world, this medicine king is not only able to fight across levels of golden elixirs, it can even compete with nascent soul. It's just terrifying. Swish swish. The body of the golden ginseng turned into a flash of golden light, surrounding Bai Xiaoxi at lightning speed, and from time to time, it would strike cruelly and swing out a silver axe. Fallen leaves are flying and dust is sweeping. After blocking more than a dozen moves in succession, Bai Xiaoxi's steps became a little shaky and her head felt dizzy. She waved her hands and said, "No fight, no more fights, Shushu, I'm so dizzy and want to vomit." "Humph, you are too ignorant to fight with me." Golden Ginseng sneered, and he gathered his strength and slashed out the axe, hitting Bai Xiaoxi's neck. Clang. A low metallic trill sounded. You. Golden Ginseng was stunned, inexplicably a little hairy, as if he was facing an ancient ferocious beast. Only 2 fingers were seen, gently holding the axe head. Clap. The axe exploded and fragments flew everywhere. This magic weapon will be scrapped immediately. Junlin stretched out 2 fingers, making a gesture of yeah, and said with a half smile but not a smile, "I say, you are too proud of your ginseng plant. It seems that you have to make ginseng soup, to be honest." Bai Xiaoxi stabilized her body, raised her head and looked at the silver-haired young man. Her tone was a little disappointed. "Master, it's Shushu who has embarrassed you." Junlin touched its head and said with a smile, "Don't think too much, just go and help them and leave this place to your master." "Okay." Bai Xiaoxi quickly ran to help Hong Qianye and Li Wujie. "Uncle Fan, Mr. Yi is about to take action." And Miaoyi looked forward to it. Fan Dizheng stared intently at the black-robed figure, his eyebrows twitching. The feeling the other person gave him was unfathomable. "You are a young human boy who dares to speak nonsense in front of me. I hope I won't teach you a lesson." That the roots of the golden ginseng were very long, standing like a little man, and then shot away like arrows, exploding holes on the spot. The roots turned into fists, and the punches came. The blazing golden light is dazzling. Boom. The air exploded along the way, and the sound was extremely terrifying. Just as Junlin was about to take action, a system prompt sounded in his mind. Ding, it is detected that the host is attacked by an enemy with perfect foundation building. Now it triggers the passive effect of getting stronger when encountering a strong enemy, and obtains the cultivation level of the early stage of the golden elixir. Immediately afterwards, the cultivation level that was originally suppressed to the 9th level of Qi training, inexplicably broke through the obstacle at this moment, and forcibly mentioned the early stage of Jindan. Junlin. "Good guy, is this okay?" Chapter 88 Cunning Human Race, You Lied to Me. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The next second, Junlin patted it casually, his palm glowing like a flying dragon soaring into the sky, with endless power. Boom. The explosion sounded, as if struck by lightning. The roots of the golden ginseng stuck straight into the ground like legs, sliding backwards for more than 10 feet. Smoke came out of the deep ravine, and traces of juice flowed out of the whole body, filled with a strong medicinal fragrance. Its mental fluctuations were very violent and it was very shocking. Suddenly, Junlin's cultivation level was once again suppressed from the early stage of Jindan to the 9th level of Qi training. It was as if everything before had never happened. Junlin was stunned. could he still play like this? Uncle Fan, did Mr. Ye's realm just rise to the golden elixir? And Miaoi's beautiful eyes widened and she murmured. Fan Dezheng's eyes were dull and he said in an uncertain tone, it seems so. Because now, he can clearly feel that Yi Junlin's state is still at the 9th level of Qi training. As for the golden elixir cultivation that just broke out, it happened almost instantly. Even Fan Dezheng was wondering if he had seen it wrong. At this time, golden ginseng adjusted its condition and said in confusion, what on earth did you human race do? As a head-to-head confrontation, it was, % sure that this silver-haired young man's cultivation level was weird, because just now, the opponent suddenly reached the golden core realm, which is the level of the ceiling of Yaowang Valley. You must know that all the herbs active in Yaowang Valley are improved according to their quality. For example, the lower-grade treasure medicine starts from the 9th level of Qi training, the top-grade treasure medicine starts from the 12th level of Qi training, and the medicine king level is the foundation building. Environment, and so on. And over the years, all the human monks who broke into the medicine king valley would be suppressed to the 9th level of Qi training, without exception. But now, there is such an alien. Just when we fought with it, its cultivation level suddenly rose to the early stage of golden core, and it was easily defeated. Golden ginseng is very confused. What is going on? I'm just a little Qi training monk now, what can I do here? You are obviously too weak, otherwise, you try to hit me again. Yi Junlin looked sincere, he wants to verify a certain conjecture. Heard, golden ginseng felt humiliated, and immediately turned its beard into a fist, emitting golden light like a sharp sword, which was very dazzling, and exuded an extremely powerful aura. Children of the human race, try my king's golden fist, swish swish. The small fist with its roots wrapped around it struck as fast as the Pegasus meteor fist. The fist wind is extremely majestic, and the power of the fist is terrifying. Just from the breath, it gives people a feeling of overwhelming oppression. Fan Dezheng was shocked, so strong. Such strength is enough to defeat all Qi training monks. Judging from his perspective, if golden ginseng goes all out, according to equal proportions, even the golden elixir monks from the outside world will be beaten to the point where they cannot take care of themselves, let alone the suppressed Qi training monks in Yaowang Valley. Master Yi. And Miaoyi was frightened, hoping to see a miracle happen. If even that one falls, according to the perverted gameplay of this group of herbs, one can imagine his fate. Facing the dense golden fist seals, Yi Junlin did not move at all, his expression calm and calm. In my mind, the system prompt sounded again. Ding, it is detected that the host is attacked by an enemy with perfect foundation building. Now it triggers the passive effect of getting stronger when encountering a strong enemy, and obtains the cultivation level of the early stage of the golden elixir. Later, Yi Junlin's original cultivation level of the 9th level of Qi training was upgraded to the early stage of golden elixir. Sure enough. A smile appeared at the corner of Yi Junlin's lips, and then he took the opportunity to hit the human king's seal with his backhand. Boom. The majestic emperor's shadow appeared behind him, and the terrifying pressure spread like a tide. The dense golden fist seals collapsed, and the golden ginseng seemed to be hit by a huge force, flying upside down like a kite with a broken string, and fell heavily to the ground. At the same time, Yi Junlin's momentum suddenly dropped rapidly, from the early stage of Jindan to the 9th level of Qi training. Yes, Mr. Ye's realm just now has indeed been promoted to the early stage of the golden elixir. Fan Dezheng's face was full of shock, and he felt that his cognition had been subverted. Here, how did he do this? Does he have a unique secret technique? And Miaoyi lightly covered her lips, her beautiful eyes glowing with splendor. The golden ginseng was covered in blood, or to put it bluntly, it was juice. It was lying on the ground dying, and said with all its last strength, "Cunning human race, you lied to me. The conscience of heaven and earth, I am indeed in the Qi training state now." Yi Junlin looked innocent, like an honest man who had been wronged. Through the collision that just happened, Yi Junlin understood that the reason why his cultivation level was improved was that it triggered the passive effect of becoming stronger when encountering a strong one, so he was forcibly upgraded to the early stage of the golden elixir, and why it came down again is because of the suppression of Yaowang Valley. Sure enough, this system is professional. The other side, the movement happening here naturally attracted the attention of other treasure medicines. When this group of little guys saw their boss defeated by the human monk, they were so frightened that their spirits were almost disordered, and they were exchanging frantically with each other. Impossible. The human race is actually so strong. This is the first time I have encountered this situation in so many years. Is Yaozun Valley going to be in disaster? As expected of Master. Even if his cultivation is suppressed to the same level as ours, his strength is beyond our reach. Li Wujie said sincerely with admiration on his face. Hong Qinya was stunned and mentally shocked. He could completely feel how strong that top-grade medicine king was. Even if he fought one-on-one, he would only be suppressed in his current state, but now, that guy takes action casually and defeats him effortlessly. The gap between the two is too big. Everyone is obviously at the 9th level of Qi training. Why can you show off like this? Why? Hong Qinya screamed inwardly. The most ridiculous thing is that he wanted to do something evil at first. Fortunately, he got rid of this impulse in time, otherwise he would be the one who suffered. Human. I hate you. The spirit of golden ginseng uttered its last words that sounded like gritted teeth when it was dying. Then, there was no more movement. Run away. That the remaining little things completely lost their fighting spirit and fled in panic one by one. Even so, there are many dazzling treasures lying on the ground. Li Wujie's mouth was almost crooked in laughter. This wave was so rich. Master Yi is so powerful. If he can continue to grow, he will definitely be able to defeat the white-haired old devil. Eliminate harm for the people. An Miaoyi held her pink fist and looked at the figure with admiration. Fan De was stunned on the side. His lips moved slightly to say something, but in the end he swallowed it silently. This IQ should be kept in the Taoist sect from now on. Just when Yi Junlin was about to let his apprentice count the loot, there was suddenly a dense sound of breaking wind not far away, as if a large wave of people were coming. Look, everyone, there are so many precious medicines on the ground. Oh my God, who defeated this? Is there any other senior in Yaozun Valley besides Master Ran Deng who can do this? There were a few people in front of me. It seems they did it. Discussions arose. Countless monks came to the scene, looking at the colorful treasures everywhere. Their eyes became extremely fiery, but after reacting, they were even more deeply in awe, because they know how powerful the treasures in Yaozun Valley are. If they can defeat such a large number of treasures at once, the person who takes action must be someone with superior strength, so it is impossible to plot. Master, look at this. A fellow disciple of Xiankong Temple said tentatively. Master Ran Deng's eyes scanned the treasures everywhere, and then he noticed something. He stared at the golden ginseng and gasped, that is a top-grade medicine king. Boom. The crowd was in an uproar. They know very well how rare the medicine king is. That's something that even the tribulation realm would be jealous of. But right now, there is a top-quality medicine king. If it is left outside, those old monsters hiding in the east region will snatch it. Well, an elder of Xiankong Temple set out to collect the golden ginseng. As a result, the sharp sword energy shot out. The elder was injured by the sword energy, and blood spurted out from his body. Then he was kicked back mercilessly. Do you dare to take it if it's yours? Get out. Li Wuzhe scolded fiercely. Elder Huitong. The team at Xiankong Temple shouted in surprise. They did not expect that someone would attack their elder in public. Master Ran Deng checked the elder's injuries. His cloudy eyes burst out with cold light, and the temperature in the air suddenly dropped a few points. Master Ran Deng clasped his hands together and looked gloomily. Umitba, that's good, that's good. Does this donor know that he's the one who beats me from Xiankong Temple, that he specifically mentioned the word Xiankong Temple very seriously? Chapter 89 One Punch. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Li Wujie squinted and said, so what if I know, do I still have to sell my face to you bald donkeys? Take it easy. Not to mention that there was someone behind him. Even before he became a disciple, he was a master who had no taboos and would chop with a knife. He was already very restrained when he didn't directly cut off the opponent's head just now. Bastard. Insanity. I don't know what to do. The Xiankong temple team let out a series of angry scoldings. Master Ran Deng narrowed his eyes, murderous intent surged in his heart, and said coldly, "Donor, I've said it before." Li Wuzhe weighed the kitchen knife in his hand, looked up and down, and said jokingly, "Old bald donkey, you look very unhappy, why don't you practice?" Master Ran Deng did not speak, but a fellow student behind him stood up and yelled, "Evil! Who do you think you are arrogant with? You know, this is a real master of the tribulation realm. Have you ever thought about the consequences of your sin?" As soon as this word comes out, the whole audience erupted in exclamations, countless monks cast awe-inspiring looks. Although they had long expected that this person's true realm would be very high, they never expected that he was actually a genuine virtual immortal. Yaozun Valley is a place where heroes gather, and there are many noble figures among them. However, they are as insignificant as ants in front of the great masters in the tribulation realm. In the entire eastern region, the tribulation realm is the top level, and there are beings who can walk sideways everywhere. After all, this is the combat power second only to the true immortal. Even if they are in Medicine King Valley and have the same cultivation level, there will always be a time when they are teleported out, and then both dragons and insects will return to their respective places. Therefore, when they learned about Master Ran Deng's true cultivation, the monks behind him did not even dare to breathe and were trembling with fear. Crossing the tribulation realm, Li Wuzhe was stunned, and then sneered, "So what? Don't say it's here, the labor and management will still attack you outside." The audience was silent, everyone's faces were filled with disbelief. Is this guy crazy? There was a hint of surprise in Master Ran Deng's eyes. After the other party learned about his own realm, he still dared to speak nonsense. It seemed that he was definitely not an ordinary person outside. Thinking of this, Master Ran Deng said in a tentative tone, "May I ask the name of this donor?" Li Wuzhe sneered, "Listen up, my name is Li Taidan." Li Taidan. Everyone looked at each other in shock. They had never heard of such an awesome person who dared to challenge even the tribulation realm. Master Ran Deng saw his fellow disciples shaking their heads, convinced that this was a stupid young man who didn't know how to live or die, and his face immediately became terrifyingly gloomy. "Donor, your anger is too strong, let me calm you down." As he spoke, the white-browed old monk flashed away, clasping his hands together to form a lotus-like mark, which was shot out like a cannonball. This move is powerful and heavy, and extremely terrifying. If someone in the ordinary foundation establishment realm is hit by it, he will either die or be disabled. Well done. Li Wuzhe was excited. It was a rare opportunity to fight against a strong person in the tribulation realm. Stab. The sword light divides yin and yang, and the sword energy stirs in all directions. Master Ran Deng's eyes narrowed, feeling a pressing pressure. Boom. Air blast. Master Ran Deng took 2 steps back, his expression a bit ugly. This was not over yet. A sword light as bright as day struck. The sword's intention was extremely domineering and mysterious. Master Ran Deng did not dare to neglect, and he slapped out the hand seal with his right hand. There was a golden swastika on his palm, showing his sacred meaning. The two sides fought fiercely, and the battle was inseparable, which shocked the monks watching the battle. They didn't expect that Li Taidan was so strong that he could confront the Ran Deng master head-on. It's fun, it's fun. Li Wuzhe's eyes flashed with excitement, and the kitchen knife in his hand chopped like a violent storm. It seemed to be unorganized, but in fact it was rough and detailed. Master Ran Deng is getting more and more irritated. With his own level of strength, he can't even defeat a junior. Fortunately, Master Ran Deng changed his fighting style and put one hand on his chest, as if he had become a Buddha on the spot. Infinite golden light erupted from his body, and his whole body seemed to be made of gold, natural and flawless. Clang clang clang. The crisp metal collision sounds were dense and loud, making everyone's eardrums vibrate. Ha! Li Wuzhe was shocked to find that no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't cut through the opponent's body. The blade he slashed with was blocked by the golden halo. Master Ran Deng said with a proud look on his face, "Donor, don't do any useless work. Even if you chop for 3 days and 3 nights, you won't be able to do anything to me." See, Li Wuzhe coughed up phlegm and spat on him angrily. "He tue. Obstacle." Master Ran Deng was furious. Feeling that he had been humiliated, he punched out with all his strength, and the wind of his fist tore apart the trees. With his indestructible body, he is indeed invincible, but that's not all. Because he couldn't defeat Li Wujie, and Li Wujie couldn't hurt him, the two sides couldn't tell the result even if they fought for 3 days and 3 nights. Everyone was frightened at first, then bored, and some even yawned. Bang! A heavy crack, the two figures distanced themselves tacitly. Li Wujie snorted coldly, "Old bald donkey, are you a bastard?" Master Ran Deng felt very unhappy, but because of his status, he pretended to be inscrutable, clasped his hands together, and said calmly, "Donor, why are you bothering? After all, we are only here temporarily." His tone contained a hidden threat. "You fight me back and forth here, you feel very majestic, don't you? There is a kind of staying here for the rest of your life, but if you go out, you stupid young man will just wait for death." Li Wujie was about to speak when he suddenly heard a voice transmission. He closed his mouth and respectfully retreated to Yi Junlin. Yi Junlin flicked his fingers and said in an understatement, "I took this king of medicine. You people from Qiankong Temple came to snatch it. You just don't know what to do. You deserve to be beaten." Master Ran Deng narrowed his eyes. "The nature of this benefactor has changed from the moment you took action, and who stipulates that if it falls on the ground, it belongs to you? I believe that only what you get is yours." Subsequently, the white-browed old monk stepped forward step by step, with the golden Buddha light shining all over his body. He was surrounded by countless tadpole-like Sanskrit words, and the sound of chanting came from all directions. In his direction, it turned out to be the top-grade medicine king. This is to rely on his strong defense and directly ignore Yi Junlin and the others to take it by force. "Old bald donkey, you are looking for death." Hong Chinya's eyes burned with anger. He had always been unhappy with Buddhism. Now that he saw Master Ran Deng being so arrogant, he had the intention of taking action. Master Ran Deng took one step 10 meters and said calmly, "As compensation, this medicine king will belong to me." At this moment, a slender figure with an extraordinary temperament appeared in front of him. I saw the other party clenching his fists, activating the energy and blood in his body, and all the spiritual energy in a radius of 500 meters was drawn. Behind him, a vague golden halo formed, exuding an ancient aura of vicissitudes of life. "Old bald donkey, do you really think no one can cure you?" Boom. Yi Junlin sneered and punched out fiercely, with the potential to subvert the 9 heavens and become invincible. This is the holy fist of fighting. Chapter 90, The Big Mushroom King of Social Terror. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This punch made Master Ran Deng feel hairy inside, and his whole body couldn't help but tense up. His energy was sinking in his dantian, and he was running wildly with his magic power. His whole body was filled with sacred Buddha light, which was dazzling and dazzling, as if it was enveloped in the sun. Yi Junlin's fist contained fierce and domineering power, and it struck Master Ran Deng's chest firmly. Boom. It was like hitting a big bell, and the heavy sound of the bell echoed, causing the energy and blood in everyone's bodies to surge, making them very uncomfortable. Swish! Master Ran Deng's body slid out forcefully, his feet plowing 2 long ravines inside, and hot smoke emitted. Then, he barely stood firm, with no change visible on his old face. The air fell into silence for a moment. Everyone stared, holding their breath. Upon seeing this, a Zen cultivator from Qiankong Temple sneered, with "Your little skills, how dare you show off in front of Master Ran Deng?" The fellow student next to him shouted, "That's right. It's really loud and heavy, but the rain is small. If you have the guts, try it again." "You bald donkey, what nonsense are you talking about?" Li Wujie couldn't bear this provocation, and he rushed to chop with a kitchen knife. As a result, Yi Junlin stretched out his hand to stop him. "Master!" Li Wujie was shocked and uncertain. Yi Junlin looked directly at the old monk with white eyebrows and smiled playfully. "How did that punch just now taste?" Master Ran Deng's face was as calm as ever. He was silent for a long time and sighed, "My Buddha is merciful. Please take care of yourself, donor." After saying that, he decisively turned around and left. Everyone was stunned. Is this the end? The Zen practitioners in Qiankong Temple looked at each other, but they had no choice but to follow him. As for the large group of monks who were watching, they looked at Junlin and the others with pity. After all, it's not good to provoke anyone, but it's a great expert in the tribulation realm. If you go out to Yaozun Valley, you won't even be able to save your life. Therefore, they were all afraid of getting into trouble, and they all stayed away like the god of plague, choosing to follow the footsteps of Master Ran Deng. In their opinion, hugging this thigh is the wise thing to do. The scene soon became much quieter. Junlin flicked his fingers and sneered, "You old bald donkey knows the truth." Because his cultivation was suppressed, the holy fighting fist he fired just now didn't even exert 1/1,000,000th of the power it should have. The most important thing is that due to the special environment here, there is no point in continuing the fight. After all, no one can die here. In the distance, after retreating, Master Ran Deng looked ugly all the way. He stretched out his hand to hold the beaten chest area, with a hint of pain in his eyes. The opponent's punch just now really made him feel threatened. If he gets hit a few more times, even if he doesn't die, he will definitely make a fool of himself. Therefore, avoiding the edge temporarily is the best choice at the moment. At the same time, Master Ran Deng was wondering, which kind of immortal is this? Everyone in Yaozun Valley has this kind of strength. Could it be that the age of great strife has arrived, and even I can't keep up with the times? Master Ran Deng's cloudy eyes revealed hesitation, but was immediately replaced by a biting murderous intent. That's all, monks are compassionate. When I go out, I will personally save you and others, that as long as he is teleported out of the Medicine King Valley, he will be able to restore his cultivation level at the peak of transcending tribulations outside. With all kinds of powerful Buddhist divine communications at his fingertips, even the body of the invincible King Kong can play its most perfect role. How can I be like what I did just now, restraining myself and losing face? But now, we still have to concentrate on collecting herbs, and we will settle this account with them later. Soon, due to the rise of Junlin and Master Ran Deng, they soon caused a huge disturbance in Yaozun Valley. These little guys got the news and felt panic and uneasiness. In the past, every time the human monks came in, they would become the playthings of the Yao clan and be easily suppressed and played with. They enjoyed the fun of cat-catching mice very much and were used to the feeling of dominating the human race in the Yao King Valley, but this time is different from the past. The situation has changed 360 degrees. There is news that the human race is sweeping away a large number of precious medicines along the way, and many compatriots have been brutally murdered, even as strong as King Thunder and King Shen, these two medicine kings who had existed for a long time and had high prestige, were killed at the hands of human monks, which brought great panic to the rest of the medicine people in the valley. At this moment, they were really scared. What should I do? I'm so afraid of being caught by those humans making soup. Didn't you say that all human beings who enter the Medicine King Valley can be manipulated at our will? What is going on now? Oh my God, even King Thunder and King Ginseng were captured, let alone a medicine clan of our level. Comrades, hurry up and hide. Now we can only wait for the Medicine King Valley to close automatically, and these terrible humans have been teleported out. A series of mental fluctuations spread in Yaozun Valley, containing emotions of panic and anxiety. The Yao clan was in disarray because they had never encountered such a situation before. From the perspective of the surrender faction, the safest way at present is to hide in a hidden place to avoid being targeted by the human race. Of course, there are also a small number of warring factions who cannot swallow this breath and feel that as long as they unite, they can regain their position and suppress this group of humans again. I don't accept it. Why should we hide? This is the territory of our medicine clan. For so many years, the human monks have been enslaved by us, but after this defeat, we are retreating. Friends, stand up and resist. That what was shouting was a bamboo that was blood-colored and shiny like glass. This was the blood jade flame bone bamboo. The medicinal soup made from this material could undo all kinds of strange poisons in the world. Yes, we are the masters here. If we surrender this time, we will definitely become a shame to the medicine clan. That among them, there is a palm-sized Ganoderma lucidum that is red all over. It is bouncing and very excited. This is Ganoderma lucidum, which is a high-quality material suitable for making healing elixirs. However, the human monks who came in this time are very strong. With their medicine king-level combat power, they may not be able to counterattack, and there is even a risk of being suppressed. Another cold spirit resembles a lotus, with gorgeous petals showing ice blue. Junlin expressed his doubts. It is the supreme holy medicine for the ice spirit root monks. Heard, all the major drug kings present at the meeting fell silent. They were unwilling to just swallow their anger, but they were also wary of the strength of the human monks. After all, even the boss of the Axe gang was gone. According to the members who managed to escape, it was a silver-haired young man who took action. He defeated King Shen with just one move, and it was so terrifying. This means that among all the medicine kings, no one can be his opponent. Why don't we go ask it to take action? A medicine king suggested after being silent for a long time. Is this reliable? The other medicine kings were stunned and quickly realized who they were referring to. In the entire Medicine King Valley, there is no one more qualified than it. After all, it was the existence that followed Medicine King back then. But, with its temperament, I'm afraid it will reject us. As you know, it is a bit. Humph. Now the Medicine King Valley is facing a disaster. As the first successor of the Medicine King, is it going to abandon us and live in the world? Is it worthy of its own compatriots? I think it makes sense. How do you know if you don't try? Come on, let's go find it and explain the situation. I don't believe it will die without saving you. After making up their minds, the Medicine Kings present set off one after another and quickly headed to that person's residence. The deepest part of Yaozun Valley is a long and narrow corridor, the surroundings are extremely dark, you can't see out of your hand, and it is very humid and cool. If you stay here for a long time, no matter how sunny and cheerful a person is, his personality will become autistic. At this time, a group of little things bounced through the tunnel and came to the end of the canyon with a nervous mood. Swish. They all transferred the energy in their bodies, and a soft halo of light burst out from their bodies. Colorful lights shone, illuminating this dark place. What came into view was an ancient stone pillar wrapped with countless vines. There was a large black mushroom on it, about 1 meter high. It looked unremarkable and very ordinary. Only the Yao clan in Yaozun Valley know how senior this person is, and he can be said to be the oldest. At this time, it was motionless and lifeless, as if it had become a dead thing. The Medicine Kings looked at each other, and then released violent mental fluctuations, like magic sounds filling the brain, making crazy noises in the mushroom's ears. Wake up! Wake up! Big Mushroom King, wake up! Soon, this dark mushroom started to move, as if an ancient life was awakening in the world, releasing extremely terrifying pressure. Look, the Big Mushroom King is awake. Greetings to the Big Mushroom King. Please ask the Big Mushroom King to save your compatriots. A bunch of medicine kings were bowing down and showing great excitement. The spirit of the Big Mushroom King is resurrecting, and his body contains vast vitality. The aura he emits is so terrifying that all the medicine kings can only look up to him. This is the longest surviving ancient creature in Yaozun Valley. It once witnessed the glorious scene of Yaozun ascending to the immortal world, and it is also the most powerful existence here. It's just one step away from transforming into a fairy medicine. Suddenly, the terrifying coercion surrounding him dissipated instantly. The Big Mushroom King trembled suddenly and fell high from the stone pillar. The other medicine kings were frightened and hurriedly came forward to check. Unexpectedly, the Big Mushroom King was like a frightened little rabbit, hiding behind the stone pillar, with only half of his round head sticking out. His mental fluctuations turned into intermittent words, a nervous and timid voice like a teenager. You guys, don't come over here. If you have anything to do, just stand there and talk.